What is negotiable instrument? It is a document which will be useful to transfer money, as we discussed in the previous class. This act is enacted to define amended laws relating to promissory note, bill of exchange and check. This act is applicable to whole India, including Jammu and Kashmir. This act came into the force on 1st March 1882. Meaning of negotiable instrument. A negotiable instrument is actually a written document and it's transferable in nature. This document specify payment to a specific person or the bearer of the instrument at a specific date. Act does not define negotiable instrument. However, section 13 provides for three kinds of negotiable instrument, namely promissory note, bill of exchange and check. Features of negotiable instrument. It should be in writing, freely transferable. It should create a right of a person to receive a money and a corresponding liability of a person to pay a money. Holder to title, free from defects. A holder in a due course acquire a good title irrespective of any defect in a previous holder's title. That means, first of all, who is called holder in a due course? The person who is having a check in a hand. For example, I have given a check to one person, he has endorsed to the another person. So the third person who is currently having the possession of the check should be easily transfer or access the check. A holder in due course is one who received the instrument for consideration without notice as to the defect in the title of therefore, in good faith and before the maturity. Features of negotiable instrument continues. Transferability. A negotiable instrument can be transferred without any kind of conditions in nature. So the negotiable instrument has various types, namely check, promissory note, certificate of deposit, that is called CD, bill of exchange, money orders and bearer bonds. Characteristics of negotiable instrument. Number one, freely transferable. As we discussed, the person who carries the check or promissory note, bill of exchange, these kind of a negotiable instrument can be passed from one person to another person for the payment by the bearer without any kind of problems. That is called freely transferable. The holder gets a perfect title. A person taking an instrument bona fide in a good faith and for a value, it known as a holder in due course. He gets the instrument free from all the defects in the title of transfer thereof. That means even if the instrument was not stolen by a transferor, it will not affect the title of the holder in due course. Recovery of the value. The holder in due course need not give notice of transfer to the prior parties who are liable to pay on the instrument. A holder in a due course has the right to sue the party liable on the instrument for a payment in case he failed to get a payment on the demand at the time of due date. For example, if I hand over the check to one person, he or she must be enabled to get a money from the banker. If he cannot able to proceed the payment, then the account holder is responsible in case if the check is bounced by way of no balance or some other default by the account holder made in the check, then he is liable. So the holder in a due course should give a proper notice of the check status to the concerned account holder. Some presumptions. The following matter are presumed in all the case of all the negotiable instruments unless the contract is proved. Hence, anyone challenging any of these presumptions will have to prove his allegations. Like consideration. Every negotiable instrument is presumed to have been made, drawn, accepted, endorsed, negotiated, or transferred for consideration. Date. The date in the negotiable instrument was drawn on the date mentioned in the particular check within a particular period of maturity period of time, the person who carries the check, they have to withdraw money. Time of acceptance, when a bill of exchange is accepted, it is presumed that it was accepted within a reasonable time of its date before it's getting mature. Time of transfer, it presumed that every transfer of negotiable instrument is made before the maturity of the instrument. Holder in the due course, every holder of a negotiable instrument presumed to have been done in order which they appear on the instrument. Order of endorsement, what do you mean endorsement? When you are transferring your negotiable instrument to the another person. But already we have discussed, it should be clearly mentioned by the account holder. So in the upcoming class, we'll be discussing types of crossing. So in that, we'll be discussing not negotiable. So in the negotiable instrument, if the account holder mentioned in the left side corner like not negotiable, the holder of a due course, that means the person who is having a check, he cannot able to endorse to the another person. So holder in due course, in the sense he is having a check but yet to get a money from the banker, he is called holder in due course. Every instrument is presumed to have been duly stamped, but it is not applicable to the check. Proof of protest ensued against the dishonor of negotiable instrument, that the court presumed the fact of dishonor unless it is proved. There is no question of any of these presumptions if the instrument was obtained by any fraud or unlawful consideration.